The city of Los Angeles thrives with a history of powerful movements and beautiful street art. Whether it be to shed light on an event or create a sense of pride and protest, mural art does not stay far behind. In 1984, Judy Baca unfurls history of oppression in triumphant faces of greatness in her piece, The Great Wall of Los Angeles. As the LA River flows to the sea, these images composed by 400 youth still speak today. In 2020, the Crenshaw Dairy Mart, the Caranaut Cages Relief Fund, and Smile South Central are still working to unite communities through the power of art and to heal in the face of injustice. All local collectives with the goal to inspire artists to create and cultivate their culture in the form of art and bring smiles to residents of these neighborhoods. Throughout the history of Los Angeles, art has been a method of preserving culture and telling stories of the diverse community Angelinos call home. Through these opportunities, we, the people, could paint the town, the way we see it and the way we want to celebrate it. It's a key part of our history, even through efforts that keep us apart, as local artists, both young and new, learn what it really means to plant our roots. This is a story about LA artists and us.
My name's Dalila Paola Mendez. I'm 45 years old. I was born and raised in LA. I'm an artist. I'm a visual artist. I do painting, printmaking, photography, film, murals. I just grew up in an LA where it was very diverse. And my parents came here by way of Central America. So they're Salvadorian and Guatemalan. And they moved actually to New Orleans, and then my grandma's the only one that came to LA from New Orleans by herself. So she came first, and then she sent like a year later, the 3 kids came to LA. So that's kind of how I got to LA, and I was born here. But then in high school, 2 of my really good friends, my best friends, one lived by Slauson and Normandy by the train tracks. And then my other best friend lived in Baldwin Hills. Each neighborhood is very distinct, which is very beautiful about LA. You know, like music, soundscapes, visually what's there. And I've always have been a person that hasn't just stayed like where I was raised. I've gone to different parts of LA. So I always really enjoy just, you know, the diversity and what we have here in LA. And being like a person of color and being queer, not really knowing it at that time in high school, it was really important for me to use art as a way to give voice to the things that were happening. Art also became a way for me to paint worlds that were beautiful for me. I think because of my upbringing, my work is very much about celebrating the beauty of our cultures, our brilliance, creating a place that's hopeful and a place that's inspiring. Really dealing with gentrification, I think I've had my like growing pains with LA, you know. The memories come, but like a lot of the landscapes have changed. I think one of the good memories I have is like Echo Park. They'd have a lot of like Cuban, like Caribbean music festivals. And so those were always really a lot of fun because it'd be like community coming in and dancing right by the lake because it's a pretty place, you know. And you have that great like view of LA downtown that was always a nice memory of dancing. I love dancing. So if there's like music and a festival and somewhere pretty, it's always fun. We've been surviving pre-slavery, post-slavery. We've been surviving. In Spanish, you say sobreviviendo, right? Like surviving, like how do we survive? How do we like come together as a community to survive the violence and destruction that we experience here? So
hello, everyone. My name is Moses Ball. I'm an artist from South Central Los Angeles. Growing up in South Central Los Angeles, we had murals all around us. Even though we were exposed to a lot of murals throughout the city, there weren't a lot of opportunities for art classes. The Heart of Hyde Park, like my other work, celebrates neighborhood heroes. We had a lot of community activists, business owners, a lot of people came and spoke to our youth. It's been an honor to create this particular piece because it's at such an important intersection, and I feel like it's become a landmark of the Crenshaw district, South Central, Slauson and Crenshaw. Like, I feel like this image has a huge impact on the area and perfectly expresses like the people who live there. I'm from there. It's a love letter to the neighborhood, and as the neighborhood is changing, that the people who live there stay there. Muralists of color do not get enough I think appreciation or credit for sparking off the mural movement in Los Angeles, Chicago, Philadelphia, New York. But we're everywhere, and I think everywhere where we felt unheard, we created these paintings in order for our voice, for us to feel like our voice is a little more heard. You know what I mean? I think that it's important for us to feel like we have a voice in our communities, in this country. Experiencing racism is nothing new. Living in a system that is oppressive is nothing new. I would love for us to feel more empowered in this country, and really in our own skin and in our own neighborhoods, where we know we have each other's back, and we know that we're just as important as everybody else.
My name is Brittany Price. I am a fine artist and muralist here in Los Angeles. I've been doing art off and on my whole life. Art has always been there for me, whether or not I chose to utilize it. I've been practicing my art ever since I moved out to LA. My relationship with South LA, or just LA in general, it was just culture shock for me. I was used to being one of the only Olivera Street. There's just something so special about those communities, just uphold their traditions and are just unapologetic. It's just, you feel like you're walking into Disneyland. I feel at home, I feel peace, I feel protected. That's my biggest thing. That's the reason why I create, is not only for myself, but also to advance the culture,
Yeah, I think it's important because we're good enough. We're just as important. It's important for us to share and uplift our own communities and our own individual stories, because of the resiliency and what we've accomplished. And just because we go through things very intensely, I think we're meant to be here. We're meant to do something amazing, or else we wouldn't be here. So I think it's really about how do we uplift each other so that we're not fighting for the crumbs, but that we all can have a piece of the pie. And I think it's really important to do that. And the more we do that, I think the farther we can go and dream bigger and do better things for ourselves and our communities.
I would say don't be limited by the barriers that other people put on you. Know that you're important, that you're powerful, that you have the ability to uplift your communities, and to go anywhere you want to go and as far as you want to go. A lot of us have creativity and gifts and talents already, and sometimes we don't always have the opportunity to nurture them, but there's resources, we really have the ability to grow and nurture our talents now. And I just encourage everybody to use them not only for the betterment of your own self, your own families, but also your communities, your people, and just the betterment of everybody if you can.
And that's why murals are so important, because it breaks down the whole class line. Anybody could be walking on the street and see a mural and appreciate it. It's for the people. And I feel like museums are awesome, galleries are awesome, but they're not elitist. And so if you want the art to be for the people, if it's by the people, it should be for the people. And so, yes, more murals.
The arts provide a natural cultural resource that connects the past, present, and future of Los Angeles. It connects families past neighborhoods, past borders, past the suppression of Black and brown voices that goes well into the birth of America. Oh, bind anew the ties which slavery had broken, and gather together the remnants of his scattered family. It must be celebrated, it must be protected, and it must be accessible. Community organizations continue to hold responsibility for cultivating the mind of his storytellers and artists in our community. Even with little or no support through the education system, environmental racisms, all the injustices that make our community feel like there's no time for art, our community shows us that the time for art is now. As we can see, art brings us together, keeps us connected, and further affirms what really defines our roots.